Welcome to MogulCast, where we uncover the stories behind the world's greatest business empires. Let's get into today's story.
June 2024. Wall Street is in shock. Nvidia's market cap doesn't just pass Apple. It surges past $3 trillion, making it the most valuable chip company in history. Jensen Huang, a man who spent 30 years in the shadows, now controls an empire worth more than Apple and Google combined. This is the full story, and it is more improbable than you think. Jensen Huang wasn't born into Silicon Valley royalty. The son of a Taiwanese immigrant janitor, he grew up in Oregon, where his family ran a small restaurant. At 15, he was sent to live with relatives in Kentucky after a near-fatal accident. His parents' dream? That he become an engineer. But Huang had a different vision, one that would take 3 decades to materialize. 1993, Huang co-founded Nvidia with 2 engineers in a Denny's booth. Their mission? To build chips for video games. But Huang had a secret obsession: artificial intelligence. The problem? In the 1990s, AI was science fiction. No one cared. For 30 years, Nvidia bled money, pivoting from gaming to supercomputing to autonomous vehicles. We will come back to one specific decision. It is the key to everything. Then, in 2012, everything changed. Researchers at the University of Toronto used Nvidia's gaming chips to train an AI model that could recognize cats in videos. The breakthrough? Nvidia's chips were 10 times faster than anything else. Huang saw the future, and he bet the company on it. By 2016, Nvidia's stock had surged 1,000%, but the real explosion was still years away. By 2023, Nvidia's chips powered 95% of all AI training. Competitors like Intel and AMD were left scrambling. Revenue skyrocketed from $6 billion in 2020 to over $60 billion in 2024. But not everyone was celebrating. Critics warned that Nvidia's dominance was unsustainable, that one misstep could crash the entire AI industry. Here's what the media completely got wrong about Nvidia. It wasn't just about chips. Huang built an ecosystem: software, data centers, even entire AI models. While competitors focused on hardware, Nvidia became the operating system of AI.T. By 2024, over 1,600 companies relied on Nvidia's technology. The question wasn't whether Nvidia would win, it was whether anyone could catch up. Huang's strategy had a flaw. Nvidia's chips were so powerful that they became a bottleneck. Demand outstripped supply, and customers like Microsoft and Meta began designing their own AI chips. Then, in early 2024, a report revealed that Nvidia's lead was shrinking. The stock wobbled. Analysts whispered, was the AI boom already over? April 2024. Nvidia's stock was on the brink. Then, in a single earnings call, Huang dropped a bombshell. Revenue had tripled year over year. The stock surged 25% in a day. By June, Nvidia's market cap had ballooned to $3 trillion, more than Apple and Google combined. But the celebration was short-lived. Regulators began scrutinizing Nvidia's monopoly, and competitors were circling. The real crisis wasn't competition, it was dependence. Nvidia's chips were so embedded in AI that a single flaw could cripple the industry. Then, in July 2024, a software bug caused outages at major cloud providers. The stock dipped 10% in a week. Huang's empire was built on a single bet: that AI would change everything. But what if the world wasn't ready? In late 2024, Nvidia's dominance was undeniable. But the cracks were showing. Startups began designing AI chips without Nvidia. Governments debated breaking up the company. And Huang's 30-year gamble was now a high-stakes poker game. And if you've made it this far, you already understand something most analysts completely missed. Nvidia's rise wasn't about chips. It was about timing. Nvidia's impact was irreversible. AI models that once took months to train now ran in days. Companies that couldn't afford Nvidia's chips were left behind. By 2025, AI was projected to add $15 trillion to the global economy, with Nvidia capturing a third of that. But Huang's empire came at a cost. Thousands of startups now depended on a single company for survival. Remember that decision we mentioned at the start? In 2012, Huang pivoted Nvidia from gaming to AI, a move that nearly bankrupted the company. For years, investors called him reckless. But in 2024, that gamble paid off. Nvidia's AI chips now power everything from self-driving cars to drug discovery. The question is no longer whether Huang was right. It's whether the world can keep up. By the numbers, Nvidia's revenue grew from $6 billion in 2020 to over $60 billion in 2024. Its market cap surged from $300 billion to $3 trillion. The company now controls 95% of the AI chip market. And Jensen Huang's net worth? Over $100 billion, making him one of the richest people on Earth. The lesson? The greatest business empires aren't built on luck. They're built on timing. Huang waited 30 years for AI to arrive. When it did, he was ready. But the real question is, what happens when the next revolution begins? And who will be left behind? If you want to understand how this pattern repeats across every major business empire, the next video covers a story with disturbing parallels. That one is next.
That's the story for today on MogulCast. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. A new empire story drops every single weekday. See you tomorrow.